How you doing?
We're doing good. So, Ryan.
Yeah.
These are all A2 students that you've got here. They're all about to embark on me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
That's alright, I'm all good.
Excellent. So,
I want to put my headphones on a minute. Hang on, just let me put these on, then I don't run the risk of not being able to hear you properly. 2 seconds.
Are you recording?
Cool.
Yeah. Fantastic. So we wanted to start maybe with just like a little summary of how you got into the industry and how you set up your company.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so basically, my company is like, it didn't really start like your standard kind of company. I went to film school after college because I did media studies at college, and then I did it down here in Cornwall. And basically, I didn't really know I wanted to do film until the end of college, and then I was going through the UCAS prospectus, and I was like, film. And then it kind of like clicked on me that pretty much most of my life I've been like messing around with cameras and stuff. So I applied, got on the course, and then basically over 3 years this whole world just kind of opened up for me. And yeah, so I finished university and I was going to go and work for a TV company. And I ended up moving up to Leeds of all places. I didn't really like London, it wasn't my thing, no offence. But I went up to Leeds and applied for some jobs in like TV stations, and it wasn't really happening. So then I was kind of like, you know what, I kind of was thinking about it, and I was like, do you know what, I don't really want to, it sounds pretty arrogant, but I was like, I don't really want to start at the bottom, I want to start making stuff now. So I ended up getting my own cameras, and then started just basically filming bands live. Just like, it took me ages. I was like, because I'm quite a big music lover anyway, so I'd go to shows and I'd be giving out my cards to people in bands and being like, hey, you should let me do a video for you, and it'll be worth your while, I'll do it for free or whatever. And basically, eventually, a band gave me a chance. I did a couple like small shows, and that band was funny enough, they're called Shikari, and started like filming them. And then it got pretty tough because we were filming shows, but we didn't have the audio right. And then also at the time I was actually working in Tesco, funny enough, which if you look at a lot of filmmakers, you'll see that quite a few of them started their careers doing like other jobs and doing it in their spare time, and I'm by no means at the point I want to be at yet, but I'm kind of getting there. So I was working in Tesco, and I was kind of like stacking the shelf one day, and I was like talking to this guy I was working with, and I was like, oh man, it's starting to annoy me, I can't really get the, sorry, phone's going off right in my speech. Just ignore that. Yeah, so like I was working with a guy, and I was like, we can't really get the sound, and he was like, oh, I do sound. And I was like, really? We started talking, and that's basically the point where my company went from being just me, Crashburn Media, to like being another person. And then it grew, then we had someone else, and then I had someone else working with me, and then like word got out. They were like, there's these bunch of guys, they're like in their early 20s and they're filming bands, and they're doing a really good job. Because what happened was when I finished university, basically, this was right before YouTube went massive. So like YouTube had just started, and I saw this gap. It was like college students, university people, and then it was like BBC kind of massive broadcast level. There was this gap in between. And I was like, there's no one really doing anything mid-level here. So I was like, that's where we're going to fit. So basically, after that, when more bands started hearing about us, we got approached. The work started coming in more and more, and then basically, one day after filming loads of live stuff, I was like, okay, I feel ready now to start doing music videos. So I started making music videos and I started directing them, and then I was like, hey, I want to make a band's DVD, I feel ready for this. So I was like, went up to a band, I was like, let me go out on the road with you, I'll make you a DVD, we can sell it, I'll have half the profits. and you can have the rest. Made a DVD, and then when I started doing that, I was like, actually, do you know what? I really love documentary stuff as well. Because when I went to university, I studied a lot of like band documentary stuff. It was one of our sections, and I was like, that's awesome. I'd love to do that. And then I started working with, you know, a few more bands, and then basically what happened was the point where it kind of went really big for me. I mean, I say really big, but things picked up. Was two things happened. Basically, one of them was I started working with American bands. And I mostly my trick was to hit up bands I liked, because I knew that no matter how hard it got, I really liked that band, and that would be a motivational thing for me, because I'd be like, hey, I'm working with this band, I freaking love them, they're amazing, like, so no matter what happens, like, I'll be enjoying this even if it's tough, because like working with bands on the road is really tough. Like, it's not like glitzy and glamorous what you see on X Factor and stuff. These guys, like, their life is touring and working, so I started working around these bands. And anyway, I did something for an American band, went out filming with them, and then they broke up. And they're like a kind of punk hardcore band from the States. They're one of these niche bands that they have a really kind of cult following, but they're quite popular in that area. And they broke up, and I was like, oh man, I got all this footage, like, what am I going to do with it? So I just sat down for an evening and made this short music video, which is like a documentary music video. And I didn't think anything of it, and I put it out, and then like, I put it on the internet and I sent it to them, and then like a day later it had like 15,000 views, which at the moment doesn't seem like much, because we see like music videos now, they get like millions of views. But at the time, for the point that YouTube was at, that was a pretty big deal, and I was like, whoa. And because I had my name at the end, loads of people were like, it was really weird, like I'd be at shows and like, I got people from bands and be like, talking to me, and they're like, oh wait, are you Ryan? And I was like, yeah. They're like, oh my god, we love that video. And it cascaded. All these bands were like, oh, what stuff have you done? I'd be like, oh, I did that video. And they were like, oh my god, we love that, come out with us. And then I got contacted by a woman in the States, because I had Vimeo. I was one of the first people to have a Vimeo account. I don't know if you guys use Vimeo, you probably know all about it. And on Vimeo, I actually run one of the biggest groups on Vimeo. It's called Music Videographers. So if you do music video stuff, go join Music Videographers. It's got like literally so many videos and users. It's worth checking out. Anyway, so this woman contacts me over Vimeo, and she's like, oh, hey Ryan, like, I really like your stuff, and it's awesome. And there's a band coming over from the States. Warner Brothers signed them. Like, they want someone to work with them, and I've told them you should do it. And then I had this email off of like someone at Warner at the time who was like, he was kind of like one of the smaller guys in Warner who's further down the chain. He was like, oh hey, can you go and work with this band and do some videos? And this band called Foxy Shazam, and they're from Cincinnati in the States. And they're this crazy like rock and roll band. They're a bit like Queen. And I started working with these guys, and we just like clicked. And like we started making these weird, crazy videos, like loads of weird, random stuff. And like again, that cascaded. People were loving it. And after that, Foxy were like, we only want to work with Ryan. So I worked with him a bunch more times. And then Warner were like, man, you absolutely killed that video. We love it. It's so good. Hey, come and do this for us now. And basically now I'm at the point where the guy I started working with at Warner is now the top guy for all videos in LA. He does, at Warner, he is the main guy. He basically produces and organises who does what videos, and pretty much 9 times out of 10, if there's anything in the UK or Europe, I get it for Warner, for their alternative acts, I will get it. Like, and recently it's been like huge shows, like Brixton Academy. We directed a like 14 camera shoot, well I directed a 14 camera shoot at Brixton for a metal band. I do a lot of metal and punk bands. I did a video for a band called Deftones last year, you know, and then I did another one for a French metal band called Gojira. And literally last week, I don't know if you're tutor or teacher, sorry, Miss Malish, I don't know what to call you, Mrs. Malish, yeah, whatever. She was contacting me, and I was like, the last couple of weeks, and I was like, I'm just too busy, because last Thursday I was in like Birmingham directing like a 16-person shoot at the NEC Arena for like another American band, and it just cascades. Like And that's basically what Crashburn does now. Crashburn is completely, we've done bits and bobs, but we're all completely music industry now. And I'm pretty much completely independent. There are other routes that you can go through as a music video director or a content creator, but right now I'm independent. That's actually maybe changing next year, because now I'm looking for what we call representation, which is where someone sends you a treatment and you read it, or they ask you for a treatment and they're like, hey, can you direct this? Or you send it in and they're like, hey, we want your idea, and you go in and all the crew is already set up. You just go in and direct it, which is different from what I normally do, which is where I produce and direct it, and I'm like, okay, I'll choose all of my crew. But doing it that way is like, the representation way is so much easier. I did that for a video, basically with Foxy Shazam, earlier this year in February, and I just turned up and stood behind a monitor and ordered people about. It's great, it's awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much Crashburn Media. That's what we do. It's live stuff, documentary and music videos. And yeah, that's it. So I hope that gives you a background of me and where I'm from and stuff. So
thank you. Ryan, can the students ask you just a couple of questions, probably about 3 questions, and then each group, I think there are 4 groups, have got 3 questions they want to ask about the treatments they sent you. So we'll try not to take up too much of your time, but that's the kind of idea.
That's fine. As long as while you guys have got me, just like, because obviously this is kind of a rare thing for me. So while you've got me, whatever you need to ask, just do it. So.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem.
I just wanted to know why you started your own company rather than join an already existing company, because it seems you took a really hard route into that industry.
Yeah. Well, pretty much. You can probably tell I like to do things the way I want to do them. So, like, to do with another, the thing is with another company is that quite often when you go to approach another company, it can be what's called, I don't know if you guys know dead man's boots, which is like a bit of a grim term, but if there's not a space there, then you kind of might not get a job. And there's only so many times, like, it depends how much of an avid filmmaker you want to be. I mean, for me, like, I was quite impatient. I just wanted to get on making things because once I figured out that I wanted to be a director, there was kind of like wild horses couldn't stop me. I wanted to go and do it. And like I said at the time, like now you have to remember is that since DSLRs came out and all those cameras, it exploded, and there's like so many people now that have DSLRs and video cameras. And when I started back in 2005, it wasn't that accessible. It was far less of a thing. So it was a niche, so I was like, there's a gap, I'm making a company, we're going to do it in that mid-level. And I just created what I wanted. And I have like a real solid work ethic, and all of my crew, quite a few of them are my friends, but they know what I want from them. I'm a bit of a hard taskmaster. I expect that to be done because we have a reputation to uphold. So I didn't mind hard work, I like it. And I think there's a certain sense of satisfaction which you guys probably haven't experienced yet. When you make something yourself, the feeling it gives you makes you feel pretty strong. Like, you're like, I made that, that feels great, and look at all these people loving it. So it kind of I never really thought of it as hard or easy. I just thought that's what I need to do. So I just went ahead and did it basically.
Oh yeah, I'd like to ask, how do you consider the audience when making videos?
Sorry, what was that? You have to come closer, man, I can't hear you. Come on, come sharp. Come closer.
You'll need to jump in because he can't see you. So you need to shout.
I want to see your face.
How do you...
Come on. Tell me.
I'll get too close to me. How do you consider the audience when making videos?
How do I consider the audience when I make a video?
Yeah.
I think I consider the band more, and that gives me a direct reference to their audience, because the thing is today as well that a lot of audiences, as you guys probably know on YouTube, are pretty brutal. People just say what they want, so the audience tells you what they think. So, and that's kind of something that you need to get used to, really, with a music video or doing anything creative, that there will be people that will be like not too nice, and they will say horrible things, and you just kind of have to, you consider it, you consider what they want, but the only thing you need to consider is the people you're working for. If you worry too much about the audience, it can get you down. That sounds like a bit of a weird thing to say, but you have to remember that with a music video or any project, that people that hire you to do that, they control the money and they control what happens and where it goes. You're just kind of like, you've got to think of it like you're here, they're here, and the audience are here, and they're like a curtain. So they call you in behind the curtain and they're like, hey man, we want you to make this for these people behind this curtain, but don't worry about them, we'll deal with them. So if they like your idea, that's great, because you need to make it. So you kind of, the audience, you know, in some respects, you know, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, obviously we think about audiences when we talk about films and stuff, but music videos and things like that, they have a different function. They're there to promote the band and to tell the audience something. They aren't based on a profit. So, do you know what I mean? They're used as a promotional tool to get people into an album or something. As with a film, that is very audience-based, because those people, they generate revenue for the box office. But I don't really, if people don't like my stuff, they don't like my stuff. That's what I think, and that's the way you kind of have to be. You'll develop yourself as having a kind of a style and a niche, and you've just got to be confident and be like, hey, this is what I do. Like a lot of my videos, I don't know if you guys have seen any, a lot of them are quite weird and trippy, but I never pigeonhole myself. I have like a set of skills and styles that I go to, but my niche thing is like kind of tour videos that are a bit like documentary, trippy style. So I think I just basically, when I come to write an idea, I don't really think about the audience very much. But I'm writing film at the minute, and we are considering things like that in it. You do think about it. When you're writing a script, you're like, people will think that's cheesy, or people will not like that. So it's very much taken to what it is you're doing, I think. Next question.
Well, Jerry has to talk for a while. The treatment, and I'll ask my question. Because I wasn't based on the treatment.
So, does anyone want to ask a general question? So you've asked about audience. Do you want to ask anything else? I think.
Don't be afraid to ask me anything. Sorry.
Ryan, I think they're quite keen just to get on with feedback about their various films. So if you're all right, we'll dive into that. Maybe some more questions will arise at the end. Just generally.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
Yeah. Should we go with your group next? Harry. Harry, are you seeing on the screen?
No.
Right. Can you make?
You guys are going to have to. Are we just going by the numbers on the treatment? I've printed it off and made notes. Scared.
Who's your Harry?
No,
name your film and product so Ryan can relate it to his notes.
Okay, right. Our own music video thing that we're planning to do is Pompeii by Bastille.
Okay, cool. Hang on a minute.
Harry.
Oh, number 4, yeah? Treatment number 4.
Yeah. Well, it's just the laptop's not slight angle.
Yeah, whoever's talking to me, can I see you? And then we can alright, cool. Guys. Alright.
So the music video we're doing is Pompeii by Bastille. And
yeah.
In your experience, what makes a good treatment for a video of that kind of genre?
What do I think? What, sorry?
What do you think makes a good treatment for a video of that kind of similar?
Well, basically, the thing is with treatments, I think you've got to think of a treatment as there isn't a specific, like a treatment is a treatment, okay? Like every band is different, every music genre is different, and then everyone in that band is like, just like you or I, and they have different tastes and styles, and you might think that one band likes something, but they might not. And basically, with a treatment, what makes a good treatment overall is being able to tell someone, basically it's someone at a label, and they have like this pile of money, might be big, might be small, and 9 times out of 10, this is a trade secret here for you guys, alright? This is straight from the horse's mouth. 9 times out of 10, these people aren't creative people. They are kind of bean counters. They're the people that they kind of like work with the bands and they manage them, but they're not creative people. So you've got to remember that the idea that you have in your head, they can't see that. So like, when you're writing a treatment, you have to kind of step outside your body and you have to write it so, I don't know, someone like your mum could read it and be like, oh, I see that. You know, I obviously don't want your mum's opinion, I'm saying, but you know, like, you need the average person to be able to read it and see your idea. Because that's something that you have to learn over time is when you write a treatment, when you first start writing them, you're writing them in a way that, that you can see it in your head and you're like, oh yeah, and you kind of dust over details. But one thing I learned about treatments is you have to make them sing off the page. So this means including like, you know, I've pretty much all of your treatments, I've made this point with them. You need to reference things that are, because they're the easiest thing in the world. You know, you can talk about what shots you want and how someone's feeling, but at the end of the day, the people that read them, they might have a pile of treatments. So you have, it's brutal, but you've got to remember, they might have a pile of treatments from a bunch of directors and everyone wants that video, especially for like bands like Bastille or whatever, because they're like, that's going to get played everywhere. The whole world is going to see that video. That could be my break. Someone could see it. So all of these directors are like vultures flying around this carcass, and the carcass is like the budget, and like you have to be number one. So you have to reference stuff that's got to sing off the page. So like, I don't know, like say for instance you were doing a video that was like a Wes Anderson film. You would want to pick a couple. You'd want to get a screenshot of something in particular and put it on your treatment and talk about it. Be like, my video, like the best thing to do is, my video is a mashup of styles of Wes Anderson and, I don't know, David Lynch, for instance. And then instantly those people have an idea, they're like, hey, wow, that sounds great, I love Wes Anderson, blah, blah, blah. And then you've kind of hooked them, you've got them, and then you have like a couple pictures and you're like, basically what happens is this, yada, 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 yada. You keep to the point, you don't go into too much detail, you explain the feelings, the look, the aesthetic, and you just do that. And you've got that space, you know, on a page, like however A4, you know, you've got that there, and you've got to go out with that, basically. There's actually a video I'm going to send you guys after this, which is, and this is a video I actually want you all to watch because it's an example of truly one of the greatest music videos I've ever seen. It's not pop. Like, most of the pop videos you see are bog standard, girl gets dumped by a boy and goes cries in a bar. There are so many music videos out there, and there's nothing wrong with writing those things, by the way, but there's so many music videos out there which are so amazing. And this one is, the band's called Manchester Orchestra, and the song's called Simple Math. You need to go and watch it because it's absolutely incredible. And I've got a video that I'm going to send you guys after this, and it's two directors doing, it's weird, they did their treatment in a video, and they both sat there and they're like talking about it and getting into it and like really telling, and it got them this video, and this video is like, it's just so many directors I know are like, it's the greatest video they've ever seen. So you've really got to make it sing. I think that's what makes a good treatment. You know, you have to be kind of sharp, and also presentation of it, you know, your name on the top, a little logo, and frame it nice, and photo, and send over, and as soon as they pick it up, first impression is like, wow, this looks amazing. So I think what makes a good treatment is, you know, being able to communicate your idea in a small space, but with enough pop culture references to get people on board.
Ryan, sorry, you can't hear me, but unfortunately the guys have got buses coming to school, so they've got till sort of 25 past, so we've got 10 minutes, which isn't as, it's such a shame. So they're going to ask 2 questions each, and we might have to keep things quite a little bit.
I'll keep it short, yeah, I'll stop rabbiting on.
No, it's brilliant, it's absolutely brilliant, thank you. Next one.
Alright, yeah, next question. Our music videos are like very narrative, well, it's mostly narrative based, none of it's like performance based, and we're slightly worried if like our audience may be bored. So do you think we can add anything to the video to make it more interesting without having to add like performance-based concepts in it.
Do you know what? I just literally last week shot a narrative video. Toughest video you can do. Real tough. Basically, what you'll the music video, because was yours on the paper? Which was yours?
Yeah,
was it on this one or no?
That's the one. Yeah, same one. We're in the same project.
Same one. Okay. Yeah, basically, I think it's like, you remember MTV generation? Everyone's like bang, 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 bang. So like, you just need to have enough there. But you'll be surprised when I say enough. Like, I wrote a treatment the other week, and basically it was like, I thought there was like, oh, I don't know if there's enough in that, and we shot it all, and I was like, now we're struggling to fit this into this video because there's so much. I think you have to kind of just make sure, like, you know, just sit down and figure out if you have enough there, but I think you have to have enough content to keep people interested. Like, there's a really good David Fincher quote, and I pull it up all the time, and he says that, because he is the perfect example of music video director that went to films. He is that's how he got where he is. That's the similar path I want to take, and he's one of my biggest influences. And he says filmmaking is on a need-to-know basis. So you've got to basically remove the boring stuff. So guy walks in a room, you don't need to see him walk up to the door, turn the handle, open the door, walk in, shut the door. You've just got to chop out the boring stuff and keep in the core stuff. And that's what you need to do with your story. Just make sure it's got core stuff, and it's like, people don't need to see him open the door or shut the door or whatever, unless it's a narrative point. Because people see that and people are bored, and you've got to remember that people get bored real easy. So you've just got to make sure that your storyline is moving along nice and it's not dragging too much, and it says what it needs to say.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
No worries.
So this is Kelly and Fran, and their project is...
Hey guys, alright?
Okay. We're doing key bed shapes. So whatever.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay. And what was your question?
Well, we wanted to know if you thought our narrative is too linear. Like it's too
I thought your narrative was it's well written. I thought it was really dark.
Really dark.
But it's cool. It's great. It's kind of the videos. I write a lot of dark videos and stuff. I think that your video idea, my notes that I wrote on it, I just thought that it needed a bit more kind of. It needed a bit more like things going on. Like you need to reference like. I did think that you did need to reference maybe some past points that he was kind of like made him bummed out, and that was kind of like real negative about it, because like it was great, you know, you got the idea that the kids didn't like him and that he was kind of getting bullied or whatever, and he goes home and his mum doesn't care, but it kind of wasn't enough. You need to make people feel like real empathy for him, so you need like maybe 2 or 3 points where you would flash where something else happened to him, like I don't know, like for instance, his dog dies, or like he lost someone in his family in a war, or something along those lines. You know, things that you have to make people feel like a lot of empathy for someone. So I think, you know, if you don't put in those points, they could be like, oh, come on kid, man up. Like, there's only those people, don't worry about them. But if you have like a few things that are really kind of like, you know, that add more empathy, then when they see those kids in that playground like looking weird at him and stuff, they're going to be like, those kids are sly, man. See what they're doing to that kid. I feel really sorry for him. You've got to get that empathy. So I think if you flash back a bit, then that'll help you. I think in telling the story. Okay? Anything else?
Do you think it would look better as different visuals rather than a short story?
Do I think of what, sorry?
It would look better as like different visuals, like loads of different things put together
Like
rather than a
more
short
flash,
story.
like keep like flashing back rather than a story. If you know what I mean.
What? Sorry guys, it's really tough to hear you. What did you say?
Like, do you think it would look better as different visuals or as like a long story?
What, when you say individual, what do you mean, like
different
exactly?
visuals, like different flashing back, like different visuals.
You're saying, do you think it's better if it's not linear and if you bounce around
Yeah,
and
yeah.
editing rather than creating it? Yeah, that's not clear.
Oh, what with the flashback stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, it does. I don't think it really matters. I think as long as like, yeah, I mean, obviously in your heads you guys know your character, and I don't. So like when you picture your character, you need to kind of like sometimes when you're doing writing stuff for characters, you have to kind of get in their skin and be like, okay, so I'm my character. Like what things could have happened or situations or things like that. I think if you can. You have to remember that it's hard for other people to understand your character because they only see a couple bits on the page, but you guys have created this character from your own mind, so you kind of know, you know him. So kind of think in terms of what he would do, and yeah, I think as long as it feels relevant to your story, then it fits basically.
25.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dan.
It's alright.
All of you can
Dan,
stay.
can you stay a little bit later?
She walk on.
Right, brilliant. Thank you. So, we're going to take you to next, yeah? You've got to definitely go.
Ben's driving, so.
Owen, can you?
Fast.
Yeah, can you switch around a bit?
Hi.
Let's go.
Not to let it cross, like.
You guys are in my spotlight.
Right, with
Okay.
Feminarchy.
Sorry, what was that?
With Feminarchy.
You're doing, which one's that? Hang on a sec. Sorry, what was that? Which one are you guys doing?
It's called Feminarchy.
Terminology, you said.
No, Feminarchy. Miss, did you actually say
terminology. Sorry, man. The Skype connection's a bit dodgy. Alright, cool. What did you want to ask?
what were your general thoughts and feelings as to like the
3 minutes,
narrative to it?
Narrative to it. Hang on a sec. Let me get my notes.
Did it make sense?
So, right. What number was this on this, by the way, guys? And I've done number 4 and number 2. Was it number 3?
It's Beyonce. It's the one that's a
Sorry?
It's a collaboration of Beyonce songs.
Oh, okay. What, is that the 1975 one? It's really tough to hear you guys. I'm really sorry it's breaking up.
Come closer.
Yeah, guys, speak loud now.
Yeah, come close. I'm coming.
It's called Feminarchy.
Okay. What was your storyline again?
Miss, did you actually send it?
Yes.
I don't think I've got this.
You don't
I don't think you did.
I
Can
think
you
I've
do
got.
a summary?
Why
and
don't
then
you just read the
can
ones that got left?
No, why don't you just tell me what it is and then we can go from there.
Like what?
read what you've got.
It's with It's like
It's basically 3 main scenes. It starts off, it's like a feminist piece, so it starts off with like this woman and she walks into this class of like teenage women and she basically speaks to them and she's basically saying in short terms, right, men are this and male gaze is not right, and you've got to stand up and you've got to feel empowered. Then it switches to like a scene which would appear to be quite a sexist scene, but it's not going to be filmed in a male gaze, so it should appear very similar to Lily Allen's recent music video where it's quite uncomfortable for a male audience particularly to view.
Cool.
And it's all about female empowerment and as such, but also it's like fragments of interview speech and like a lot of feminist speech as well. Do you think that would work, or would that lose like it starts off with an extract from an interview, like really short, I think it's about 3-4 seconds of just speech, and it starts. Do you think that works within a music video, or would it lose?
I do that all the time.
Excellent.
All my documentary stuff, loads of it. I've literally just done a trailer for a live show I did in America like 2 weeks ago, and we've used like someone reading a Charles Bukowski quote and then a quote from JFK at the end of it. I think that stuff makes people feel like real electrified. Loads of my documentary stuff has got loads of stuff like that in it. Like, I think that is a really good way of getting someone to kind of like, it gets them on your page, to what you're trying to do, like when you're trying to amp them up or whatever. But I think that's a great idea. As long as, you know, obviously you have to remember that the music videos, you have to get the rights to some of it, but I think it's a great idea. And I use quotes too. A lot of the animal videos, quotes and things like that. So
Thank you.
that's a great idea.
Thanks.
Right.
So Ryan, the schoolgirls gone and they're all
Okay.
but one sec, we've got one more group to go and he's wants to stay to have a chance to talk with you. So if you're okay.
Of course. Yeah, I'm cool.
One second.
Good.
Just fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Owen.
Thanks.
I think if you've heard that they're all saying thank you.
No worries. Bye, guys.
You can stay. You move up.
James.
Thanks, Ryan.
No worries, man. See you later.
Mine is the 1975. My group's one is the 1975 one.
Yeah, yours is.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
2 questions.
So who, is it just you I'm talking to then?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's left.
Cool.
Firstly, how do you think we should create emotion within our music video?
Emotion. That's a broad question. I think that it depends what you want to go for in your video, really. I mean, do you want people to be sad or do you want them to be happy?
Sort of, that's what 1975 are about. They're never happy.
Yeah, I know them. I know that band really well.
Basically, in their shadow, really.
Basically, I mean, I've seen a lot of their videos, like especially when we get shot and stuff like that. I mean, it's like they're kind of a bit downbeat and shoegazy.